Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel, your go-to place for all things cars and trucks. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon so you never miss any of our awesome videos. Today, we're diving into the 2024 Toyota Tundra. It's a beast of a truck, no doubt, but before rushing out to buy one, there are a few things you need to know. In this video, we'll talk about 10 problems you should be aware of before buying the 2024 Tundra. Now, we all love the Tundra for its power and for its looks, but even great trucks do have their quirks. From engine issues to interior noise, we've got a lot to cover. So buckle up and let's get started. First up, let's talk about engine problems. Did you know some 2024 Tundras had a recall because of debris sticking to the crankshaft main bearings? This can cause rough engine operation and knocking. Not something you want to deal with, right? But that's just the beginning. We'll go through all 10 issues one after the other so you get a full picture. By the end of this video, you'll know if the 2024 Tundra is the right truck for you. So, stay tuned and let's dive into all the details. Oh, and if you have any questions or experiences with the Tundra, please drop a comment below as we would love to hear from you. Alright, let's jump into the first problem with the 2024 Toyota Tundra. Engine issues. So here's the deal. Some 2024 Tundras have a problem with the engine. Toyota actually had to recall some of these trucks because of this. What happens is, little bits of debris can get stuck to the crankshaft main bearings. Okay, I know that sounds a bit technical, so let's break it down. These bearings help the engine run smoothly. So if debris gets stuck to them, the engine can start to run rough. You might hear knocking sounds, especially when you're driving with a heavy load. Imagine this, you're hauling a trailer or a lot of gear. The extra weight makes the problem worse. So over time, this can cause serious damage to the engine. That's not good, right? Engine problems like this can be a real headache and it can cost a lot to fix. So if you're thinking about getting a 2024 Tundra, make sure to check if the one you're looking at was affected by this recall. Always do your homework and ask the dealer about any recalls or any other issues. It's better safe than sorry. Alright, so that's problem number one. Stick around because next we'll talk about another issue you should know about, fuel economy. Stay tuned and remember, if you have any questions about this engine issue or anything else, drop a comment below and we're here to help. Alright folks, let's talk about problem number two with the 2024 Toyota Tundra, fuel economy. We all know how important fuel economy is, especially with the gas prices these days. Unfortunately, the Tundra isn't exactly a fuel-sipping champion. The standard V6 engine and rear-wheel drive Tundra gets about 18 miles per gallon in city and 24 miles per gallon on the highway. That might sound okay, but compared to other trucks, it's a bit disappointing. Let's say you do a lot of city driving. Getting just 18 miles per gallon means more trips to the gas station and more money spent on fuel. And if you're hitting the highway, 24 miles per gallon isn't much better. Imagine having to fill up this big guy more often than you'd like. It adds up quickly, especially if you're using the Tundra for work or for long trips. Not exactly wallet friendly, right? So if you're thinking about getting a Tundra, keep this in mind that you might be spending a bit more on fuel than you would do with other trucks. Make sure to consider this when you're budgeting for your new ride. Fuel costs can sneak up on you, and if you're not careful, lead you into some huge debts. Alright, that's problem number two. Up next, we'll dive into another issue. And don't forget, if you have any questions or tips about saving fuel, drop a comment below as we'd love to hear from you. Problem number three, the 2024 Toyota Tundra, seat breaks. Seats are super important for your comfort, right? You want to feel good while you're driving, whether it's a short trip or it's a long haul trip. But some Tundra owners have reported issues with their seats breaking. Here's the deal. The mechanism that adjusts the seats can sometimes break. This means you might not be able to move your seat forward or backward properly. Imagine trying to get comfortable but your seat just won't budge. Frustrating, isn't it? It can be a real hassle, especially if you share the truck with other drivers who need different seat positions. A broken seat can also be a safety issue. If you can't adjust the seat correctly, you might not be in the best position to drive safely. Not to mention, it's just plain annoying. like you expect your seats to work perfectly in a brand new truck. So if you're thinking about getting a Tundra, make sure to check the seats properly. Test them out and see if they adjust smoothly. If not, talk to the dealer about getting it fixed before you drive off. Alright, so that's problem number 3 sorted. Up next, we'll talk about brake issues. You definitely don't want to miss that. And remember that if you've had any seat problems with your Tundra, let us know in the comments. As always, we love hearing from you. Let's move on to problem number 4 with the 2024 Toyota Tundra. Brake issues. Brakes are one of the most important parts of a vehicle. You need to stop safely and quickly, but some Tundra owners have reported problems with their brakes. Here's what's been happening. Some drivers have noticed that their brakes feel spongy or unresponsive. This means that when you press down on the brake pedal, it doesn't feel firm and it takes longer to stop. Imagine you're driving and need to stop suddenly. If your brakes aren't working right, it can be really scary and, of course, very dangerous. Some owners have also reported that their brakes make weird noises, like squealing or grinding. These sounds can be a sign that something is wrong with the brake pads or with the rotors. So if you're thinking about getting a Tundra, be sure to test the brakes. Pay attention to how they feel and listen for any unusual noises. If you notice anything off, get it checked out right away. Brake issues can be fixed, but you don't want to have brake issues before you buy the truck. Safety first, always. Alright, so that covers problem number 4. Next, we'll talk about another issue, interior wind noise. So stay tuned, and if you have any tips on brake maintenance or have experienced any brake issues with your Tundra, drop a comment below. We're here to help each other out. Now let's talk about problem number 5 for the 2024 Toyota Tundra. Interior wind noise. Interior wind noise can be really annoying, especially when you're driving at high speeds. Some Tundra owners have reported hearing a lot of wind noise inside the cabin. So here's what the problem is. This wind noise usually comes from around the windows and the doors. It can make your drive less pleasant, especially on long trips. Imagine cruising down the highway and having to turn up your music just to drown out the noise. Not fun, right? It can make it harder to have conversations or even think clearly. Wind noise might not seem to be a big deal at first, but over time, it can get really annoying and make your driving experience less enjoyable. Some owners have tried fixing this by getting their windows and sills checked. But sometimes a simple adjustment or replacing the sill can actually help reduce the noise. So if you're test driving a Tundra, pay attention to the noise levels inside the cabin. Drive at different speeds and listen for any whistling or howling sounds. If you hear anything, mention it to the dealer and see if they can fix it. So that's problem number 5. Next, we're going to dive into an issue with the adaptive cruise control. You won't want to miss this one. And if you found any solutions for wind noise in your Tundra, please share them in the comments so we can also help each other. Problem number 6 with the 2024 Toyota Tundra. Adaptive cruise control malfunctions. Adaptive cruise control is a great feature. It helps you maintain a set speed and distance from the car in front of you. But in the Tundra, it does have some issues, especially in snowy conditions. So here's the problem. When it snows, the sensor for the adaptive cruise control can get blocked. This means the system can't see what's in front of you and will stop working. Imagine driving in the snow and suddenly your cruise control stops working. You have to pull over and clear the snow off the sensor. That's such a hassle, right? And even after you clear the sensor, sometimes the warning on the display doesn't go away. This means you can't use the cruise control or the speedometer screen because the warning stays on. Not being able to use your cruise control in snowy conditions can be really frustrating, especially on long trips where cruise control makes driving so much easier. If you live in an area with lots of snow, this is really something to keep in mind. You don't want to have to deal with this issue every single time the weather gets bad. So, if you're looking at the Tundra, make sure to ask the dealer about this and see if there are any fixes or updates available. So, that's problem number 6. Next, we'll talk about infotainment and connectivity issues. So please stay tuned. And if you've experienced any issues with your adaptive cruise control, or you have any tips on dealing with it, let us know in the comments. As always, we love hearing from you. Problem number 7 with the 2024 Toyota Tundra. infotainment and connectivity issues. Infotainment systems are super important in modern trucks. We rely on them for navigation, for music, and just for staying connected. But the Tundra system has had some hiccups. Some owners have reported that the infotainment system can be slow or even freeze up. Imagine trying to change the radio station or use your GPS and the screen just doesn't work. It doesn't just respond. This can be really frustrating, especially if you're in the middle of a trip and you need directions. Nobody likes dealing with a glitchy screen while driving. Another issue is with the Bluetooth connectivity. Some users have had some trouble connecting with their phones or keeping them connected. Dropped calls and disconnected music are not what you want to deal with when you're on the road. If you're considering a Tundra, make sure to test out the infotainment system thoroughly. Pair with your phone, use the navigation, and see if everything works smoothly. And if you run into any issues, as usual, you can talk to the dealer about software updates or fixes that may be available. So that covers problem number 7. Next, we're going to dive into warranty and maintenance coverage. You don't want to miss it. And if you've had any infotainment or connectivity issues with your Tundra, share your experiences in the comments. We love learning from you. Problem number 8 with the 2024 Toyota Tundra, warranty and maintenance coverage. When you buy a new truck, you expect good warranty and maintenance coverage to protect your investment. But some Tundra owners feel that, coverage isn't as strong as it should be. Toyota does offer a standard warranty for the Tundra, but some owners have found that it doesn't cover certain issues as thoroughly as they'd like. For example, some parts and repairs might not be covered after just a few years. And then there's maintenance coverage. While Toyota does offer a free maintenance plan for a limited time, it might not cover all the services that you'll need. Once the free maintenance period is over, you could be looking at higher out-of-pocket costs for routine services. This can be a bit of a letdown, especially if you were expecting more comprehensive coverage for your new truck. If you're thinking about getting the 2024 Toyota Tundra, it's important to read the fine print on the warranty and maintenance plans. Ask your dealer for details and make sure you understand what is and what isn't covered. So, that's problem number 8. Next, we're going to talk about other miscellaneous issues some Tundra owners have faced. Please stay tuned, and if you have any questions about the Tundra's warranty or maintenance coverage, or if you've had any experiences with it, please share them in the comments. We're all here to help each other out. Now let's dive into problem number 9 with the 2024 Toyota Tundra. Issues with the rear differential and those annoying mirror whistles. First up, the rear differential. Some Tundra owners have reported a howling sound coming from the rear differential. This noise is usually described as a howl or a whine that gets louder as you drive. That sound might be pretty distracting and can be a sign of wear or alignment issues. It is important to get it checked out because if it's left untreated, it could lead to more serious problems. Next, let's talk about the mirror whistle. Some owners have reported a whistling sound coming from the side mirrors. So this happens when air gets trapped around the mirror and creates a high-pitched noise. It can be super annoying, especially at higher speeds. It's like having an unexpected guest in your truck, and that's not a pleasant guest. Both of these issues can affect your driving experience. So if you're considering getting a Tundra, listen carefully for these noises during your test drive. If you hear anything odd, make sure to ask the dealer about it. Getting these issues sorted out before you buy can save you a lot of hassle and ensure your Tundra is in top shape. So that's problem number 9 sorted. Next up, we'll cover the final issue on our list, a broken trim piece around the driver's seat. Stay tuned, and if you've experienced any of these noises or have tips on dealing with them, please drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Problem number 10 with the 2024 Toyota Tundra. Miscellaneous issues that you might want to know about. While the Tundra is a great truck overall, some owners have reported a few quirky problems that don't quite fit neatly into the previous categories we've discussed. First up, the windshield seal. Some Tundra owners have noticed that it creaks and it pops. This can be pretty annoying, especially if you like a quiet ride. Then, there's the intermittent shaking some drivers have experienced. This can happen at certain speeds and might be a sign of alignment or balancing issues. Another thing to watch out for is whistling mirrors. You might hear a whistling sound from the side mirrors at higher speeds. It's another little annoyance that can take away from the driving experience. Lastly, a few owners have reported a broken trim piece around the driver's seat. This might seem like a small issue, but it can be quite noticeable and might need fixing. So, while these issues might not be deal breakers, they're worth knowing about before you make that purchase. Pay attention to these details during your test drive. So, that wraps up our list of problems with the 2024 Toyota Tundra. If you've experienced any of these issues or have other tips to share, please drop a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more reviews and tips. See you in the next video. Alright folks, we've gone through all 10 problems with the 2024 Toyota Tundra. Let's quickly recap all that we've covered. From engine issues and fuel economy to brake problems and infotainment glitches, we've touched on some key points you should know before making a decision. But remember, every truck has its pros and has its cons. The Tundra is a fantastic vehicle in many ways, but being aware of these issues can help you make a more informed choice. If you're considering buying a Tundra, make sure to test drive it, pay attention to the details, and ask the dealer about any concerns. It's all about finding the right fit just for you. And if you have any questions, or if you've had any experiences or any issues with your own Tundra, leave a comment below, as we'd love to hear your experiences so we can help each other out. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more car reviews and tips. See you in our next video. Until then, drive safely and take care.